Good evening everyone and welcome back to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing. This is Silver Class action tonight, the season finale in Silver Class, coming to you live from the Circuit Hermanos Rodriguez, the Mexican Grand Prix, the traditional season closer here in TCR. We've had a pretty good season in this class this year, some good racing, some good battling, and ultimately a championship win for Bamboo. And now it's time for the final send-off, and hopefully the guys can deliver some good racing for this final round. My name is Chatty Duck. I'm in the commentary booth tonight. 007 Professional is not here this week. He has a work commitment to attend to. But I do have with me two special guests tonight who I've raced with quite a lot over the course of this game and had some pretty good battles with. So tonight we have Jonathan Dunk and Lucas, aka Light Work, joining me for comms tonight. So how are you guys doing?
Yeah, doing great, Chatty. Looking forward to capping off a great season here in Mexico.
Yeah, for sure. Looking for some good battles and ultimately, yeah, hopefully we can get some good battles and a couple surprise podiums.
Yeah, definitely. I do think that we may have a couple of drivers tonight who are going to be doing a last to first challenge. I think Bamboo will be, and possibly STX0 as well, who won last time out, actually, I think, in the US Grand Prix, and said that he would attempt to last to first challenge. So yeah, we could definitely see some surprise podiums. I think I've just seen a racing point going off already. I think that was Juan. Saw some wing damage on the track, so I don't know what happened to him, but we're a few minutes into qualifying in this session and we're just starting to see some times coming in from well, 6 of the drivers so far have got a time in. So guys, what do you make of this track, and what do you think it takes to be quick around here?
Yeah, I mean, you got the long straights, which are so important around here, and honestly, you gotta have a good setup where you got a good enough downforce for the S's, but not too much where you're slowed down the straights, especially with the 3 DRS zones.
Yeah, definitely a technical circuit, I feel. I've always had a lot of trouble here, especially having in the normal season you have USA and Mexico back to back, 2 really technical tracks. So yeah, never know what you're gonna get here. Yeah, hopefully gonna see some good racing. Already got some good times on the board here in quali, with Kroner setting a 1:14.4 in the Renault. But yeah, still a lot of guys left to put some times in, so we'll see how they do.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you were saying the last to first challenge a couple guys were doing. If it's a track you got to do it on, I mean, this is probably one of the better ones just because of how many DRS straights there are, so much overtaking. Obviously the most popular one probably into turn 1, another good one into turn 4, but I mean, we'll see where all these guys, how they roll out.
Yep, absolutely, and it's certainly one of the longest straights in Formula 1. I think the front stretch here in Mexico, and the DRS starts pretty much just after the start-finish line, so you really do get that boost for a long way down the straight, as Rafa Hulk has put himself on provisional pole with a 1:14.188. That's a pretty decent lap time. Do you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys reckon for like is a good marker for a lap time around here? Like, we're already seeing guys in the low 14s.
Yeah, I mean, it says right here, I mean, I think that's the track record for TCR at the moment anyways, by a bit, so that was a good lap. I mean, if I'd like to see some guys get into the 13s, that would be pretty surprising, pretty nice to see. But yeah, the provisional pole time right now of a 14.1 is pretty strong already.
Chatty, do you have any idea about strategy? I see everybody but one so far is on the softs. Is it going to be a one stop, maybe a soft to medium or a soft to hard here?
It could possibly be a soft to hard. I think that normally the strategy that the game would recommend for you is a two-stop. So either like a soft medium medium or a soft medium soft or something like that. Kind of depends on how many tire compounds you end up using in the qualifying session. Because if you can preserve a set of soft tires to use then in the race, then you're potentially going to be in a strong position. I can see at the moment Mako, one of the reserves in TCR who's in the Mercedes today, he's trying to set a time on the medium compound at the moment, but it looks like everyone else so far is going for the softs.
I mean, I don't think the hards are a tire that you want to use around here. I just don't think they have enough grip. And this is a track where I think grip is so important around that middle sector. So I think the two-stop is definitely quicker. It's kind of like Canada, you know, where you got to go the two-stop, or the one-stop's just so slow on the hard tires. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting whether people go on the soft medium or soft medium, you know.
Yeah, it's like you said, Lucas. There's so many. I think there's 3 DRS straights around here. Maybe just 2. But yeah, there's a lot of overtaking chances here. So yeah, two stop's not really going to kill you if you decide to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a reminder for folks watching, we've got a short qualifying session followed by 50% race for this season finale tonight. Regular corner cutting rules apply here rather than strict. That's one aspect of this race that's going to make a big difference. This is certainly a track where corner cutting can be quite a problem, especially in the S section in the middle of the lap that Krooner has just gone through. It's very testy on the mechanical grip coming through there. But we're just seeing Krooner now coming up to the line, and he is the first man into the 1 minute 13s with a 13.909. So lap times coming down, 8 minutes still to go in this session. And another thing as well to note is that it doesn't look like there's any threat of rain, at least in this qualifying session.
Yeah, which is it's a good thing to see, you know. I mean, some guys like the rain, but honestly, at a track like this where it's so technical, it's just, I mean, personally, I prefer no rain. I mean, for people watching, maybe it's more interesting to see the rain, but I mean,
it looks like we've actually had a Williams Rockstar has gone around, maybe in the S's, maybe just on the exit of the S section in Sector 2. He's currently sitting in P10. So he's going to be a little disappointed with that, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was trying to jump on board with a car coming up behind to see if I could get a glimpse of his car, but I think it was, yeah, you're right, Duncan, it was in the S section of the track. But Fire Upflow's just gone into P2. He's done a 1 minute 14.156, so there's a nice little cluster of cars forming around that sort of low 14, high 1 minute 13 bracket, which is good to see.
Yeah, just about halfway through the session, so we still got some time. Probably going to see some of these guys put in one more lap. But yeah, definitely good to see several of these guys pretty close together in times. That's going to set up for some pretty good racing, I bet.
yeah, I mean, I was just tracking around Mako around the track on the medium still. I mean, he's put about 2-3 laps at this point, and he's staying out still. I mean, I'd hope he's not starting the race on those tires, because those things they're going to be kind of dead. But I mean, unless he's just testing around how the grip is. But I mean, I saw him locking up a bit in a couple turns, but we'll see if he goes on the softs later on.
Yeah, I wonder if
like
he's sorry, I just wonder if he's kind of just getting warmed up to the track in a sense, you know, and at the same time not wasting a set of soft tires.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's sitting in P11 right now, so that might be a strategy call for him. Maybe try to stretch or start on a new set of tires and kind of go for an alternate strategy.
Yeah, completely. You're completely right with that. That's also another thing to do around here because, I mean, seeing the top 10 are all on the softs. I mean, starting on the mediums in 11th is probably one of the better strategies. So, I mean, I could be a strategy call, which a couple guys have done in the past, in our league at least. So we'll see how what he does and whatnot. But yeah, you were saying competitive lap times being posted right now.
Yeah, we've just seen Blim Machine. He was doing a lap on the softs, but then he pulled off into the pits. Not sure if that was if he was just not happy with the lap, but he should still have enough time to make it back out onto the circuit and get another run in before the session is up. We've got about 4.5 minutes remaining in this session as Rafa Hulk sets exactly the same time as Crooner, who is on provisional pole at the moment, but wow.
Wow.
Kind of unfortunate for him, since he's gonna be second if he doesn't improve just by setting that time a little later than Crooner. Yeah,
Wow.
not something you see very often there.
Yeah, it's impressive to see someone tie lap times in the first place, but to time for pole position is just, that's something else, That's crazy.
Yeah, and we've still got, like I said, just under 4 minutes left now in the session, so with the track evolution, the times hopefully are just going to get quicker and quicker, so it could be a really interesting final lap showdown for pole position between those two guys if Rafa Hulk can get back to the pits in time and then head out again. Gottney Weaves just put himself into P6. He's done a 1 minute 14.3 at the moment, and it looks like he might be going out for a second push lap on these soft tires, which is interesting as well, because I would have thought that after the first lap those softs would be too worn to set a competitive time, but he's actually gone green in the first sector as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the real question is if he's going to have enough ERS left at the end of the lap to keep that pace up. I know he's sitting at about 25% now, so it's going to be close for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we do got that slow third sector, so I mean that could well, right now he's already down on his ERS, but unless he's just rushing to the pits, that could be another thing,
That's very true.
We just want to get to the pits on, put a fresh set, and then go out again. But I mean, looks like he's sticking with the lap.
Yeah, no, he's coming up to the line, and he does go quicker again.
Wow.
14.0. So,
yeah,
given what we were saying, tire wear and ERS usage, that's an impressive time, and he could have even potentially gone into the 13s as well if he'd have, been on a completely fresh set of tires with full ERS available as well.
Yeah,
sure.
so I mean that's a tough decision. Well, I mean, if you were in his situation, you're in the third sector, you see you're like a tenth up, 2 tenths up. Do you box for a new set, or do you just stick with the lap and know that's your last lap?
Yeah, I really think if you're doing a two-stop strategy, it's not bad to go ahead and finish that lap and just kind of see where it puts you. He would have known at that time that was going to be his last flyer, so
yeah,
if he really stuck the lap and felt really good about it, I don't see why you would box and kind of give that up. But yeah, could go either way. I mean, he's going to start on a couple of laps older tire. But with the two-stop, I don't think it'll hurt him too awfully bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering. Do you save tires and just stick with the lap you got and try going for another one, or that's it? But I mean, it could go either way. And honestly, tire wear isn't bad here. The two-stop, you got to go on a two-stop here. You should at least, but tire wear isn't that bad around this track compared to others like Bahrain or China.
We've got a few cars here in the second and third sectors on their out laps just coming around to start their final hot lap for this qualifying session, so we should hopefully see a few more competitive lap times coming in the next couple of minutes or so. There's a really interesting kind of split at the moment where you've got the top 6 spread out by about 0.3 of a second, and then there's quite a big jump down from Wienerdrank to the Yoppie between 6th and 7th place. And then you're into the 1 minute 15s. We've just seen Blin do a 1 minute 15.3, which is good enough for 10th at the moment. But Rockstar, who we saw retire earlier on, is still, I think he was in 10th when he retired, and now he is just outside the top 10, which might actually be a good place to start if you're going to go for some kind of alternate strategy.
Yeah, and we've also I just noticed that that Mako actually did slap on a set of soft tires. He's done 1 lap. I'm not sure if he improved his time. As I say that, he jumps up to P7 with a 1:14.6.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
he's
just riding
kind
on
of,
board with.
yeah, sorry, go on, Lucas.
Sorry, go. No, you go.
I was just saying Mako's kind of filling that void, that 0.8 of a second void that I was just seeing.
Capitan goes P8 with a 1:14.9.
Rafa Hulk is just in the stadium section. He's the man who's currently in 2nd, despite having the same lap time as Kruner, but he's coming up to the line.
Let's see, he was 2.5 up. Woo!
Oh wow!
1:13.6. I think Kruner's lap is gone. He's about 1.5 seconds down on his time. So.
Yeah, and Broomhandle just crossed the line. He's in the 1 minute 14.1s. What .1s is that? I don't know. That didn't sound right.
Any
but anyway.
boxes, yeah. Kruner's box. So at the moment, Rafa Hulk is on provisional pole, and we'll see if anyone behind Captain.
I think that's it.
Capitan.
Because Mako has invalidated and Capitan has stopped on track.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Rafa Hulk's gonna take pole. Kruner's gonna be sitting P2. And Gottny Weeb is P3.
Pretty good qualifying session for the AlphaTauris.
I was gonna
P3
say,
and P4.
Walking out the 2nd row.
Yep, and it's going to be another interesting case for Bamboo coming from the back. The man who's really dominated Silver Class this season, wrapped up the championship a couple of races ago, and is going to be starting P15. His teammate Kruner, who's probably been the most improved driver this season in the Silver Class. Before this season he didn't have any podiums in this league, and then he got his first podium in Russia a few races back, and then he got his first victory recently. I can't remember which race it was, but Kruner's won his first race as well, and he's obviously up there in P2. But yeah, great job from Rafa Hulk, who I believe is a reserve, and then those 2 AlphaTauris in 3rd and 4th, who have been pretty strong all year as a partnership, but not strong enough to challenge Renault in the Constructors' Championship. So here we have just a quick rundown of the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. So we've got Rafa Hulk on pole, Kruner in 2nd, Gottny Weeb and Fire Up Flow 3rd and 4th, Broomhandle in 5th. Then it's Wienerdrank, Mako and Capitan, Juan and the Yoppie on the 5th row of the grid, Blin in 11th place, Rockstar in 12th after he crashed out earlier in the session, SGX0 in 13th to 4 in 14th, and Bamboo Piki, as we said. Setting no time to start from the back.
Yeah, and can he challenge the top 3 and possibly like the AlphaTauris or possibly his teammate and Rafa Hulk? You know, it's gonna be an interesting race because he gets to choose what tires he wants to start on, and obviously a fresh set as well. So
yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to see how turn 1's going to go. This is, like you said, Chatty, this is one of the longest straights on the calendar. So we're really going to see some good overtaking possibilities on this in this first sector for sure, but more importantly in the first turn.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just looking at the weather right now, it kind of looks a bit dark. So we do possibly have a chance of rain. Obviously, we don't know that, but we'll see as the session goes on. But yeah, like you said, Dunk, it's the longest drag race down to turn 1. So we'll see how it all goes out, and pretty much who uses the most of their ERS. You know, I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to off the start of the line, especially here in Mexico, where it's so hard to gain ERS. Especially, that's so important to manage it properly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth just mentioning before we start, I said earlier that Bambuki has wrapped up the championship a few rounds ago, but we have got a pretty good battle still for second place as the drivers start the formation lap here in Mexico. So at the moment, Krooner in the Renault is in second place in the championship. He's got 110 points, but STX is just behind him. He's got 102, so just 8 points back. And then Broomhandle in fourth with 94. Fire Upflow and Gotney Weeb have got exactly the same number of points, so they both have 91. And Granty Boy has 88 points in seventh place, but he obviously left the league quite a while ago. So there's still a bit of it's a five-way battle really for P2. So Krooner, having qualified so well, is in the best place to hold on to second place in the championship at the moment. But yeah, again, we see these clouds that have drawn in between qualifying and the race. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with the rain, or if there's going to be any rain even. So yeah, lots of possibilities ahead for the race.
Yeah, and Bambuki, who's starting last, he's opting to start on the soft tire, which is quite surprising to me. I honestly thought he would have started on the medium or something, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe, I mean, initially I thought he was going to start in the medium and possibly pull a longer stint, see if he can help out his teammate, hold the guys behind when they box, but starting the softs, trying to get through the field as quickly as possible. So we'll see how that rolls out. And we saw...
Sorry, Lucas, go ahead.
No, sorry. We saw Wiener Drank just disqualify. I guess he was AFK or something, but going to start on those nice cold tires. So we'll see how that plays out.
I'm really shocked to see only two guys opt for the alternate strategy, at least from the start of the race. I really thought we might see a few more go for that alternate strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We've got the 5 red lights on for the Mexican Grand Prix, but we do have a bit of a lag to the actual start of the race. Revs building up now. Quite a long hold, but they are underway for the season finale in Silver Class in Season 11 in TCR, and it looks like a good start from Rafa Holt. Not such a good start for Krooner, who's been overtaken by Gotney Weeb, and Fire Upflow trying to get alongside coming into turn 1. Looked as though Fire Upflow might have been hit up the back coming into the braking zone of turn 1. Krooner and Gotney Weeb going side by side in this first sequence of corners, but Gotney Weeb has moved up a place and is in P2 at the moment.
Yeah, those cold tires really hurt Winterdrank at the start of the race. He's back to P9 already, and Broomhandle has picked up some wing damage as well, headed into turn 1. So he's missing a left end plate. Yeah,
I saw a wing just fly across the screen right in turn 1, and oh my, yeah, as STX in 7th on the medium tire, gained an incredible amount of positions off the start on a harder compound as well, which is quite surprising.
And he actually did something very similar at the start of the last race in the US Grand Prix, and he's faked a move there down the inside of Capitan in the stadium section. But yeah, I think he was on the alternate strategy there as well, and was able to just pick up so many positions in the early phase of the race, and ultimately went on to win it. So the omens are good for him to repeat that so far, but we'll see. Mako is on the inside of Gotney Weeb, and Krooner's actually got ahead back into P2 as well on the first lap.
Yep, Broomhandle pits, opts for the medium tires as he got wing damage into turn 1. So we'll see if he can cut through the field and kind of just maybe at this point go on a one-stop strategy as opposed to a 2. So we'll see how that rolls out.
Yeah, Mako already up 3 positions in the P4. I know we talked about him a little in quali. But yeah, up from P7 all the way up into P4 within the first couple of laps.
Yeah, great start from him, but he's got fire upflow right behind him on his gearbox within a couple tenths.
Yeah, and then STX 0 as well. As we said, he's in P7, but he's close behind Capitan at the moment. This is lap 2, so we will get the DRS enabled at the start of the next lap. And there's quite a few drivers within a second of the car ahead of them. It's worth mentioning as well, Bambuki is up to P11 from having started in last, so he's made up some places as well. I think Capitan just got some damage off the wall there coming out of the last turn. Just trying to see from one of the broadcast cameras. Quite hard to tell at the moment.
He's going to be right there. No, I was just looking. It doesn't seem that he has damage. Maybe slight damage. But as we see Crooner back up to P2. And kind of sticking with Rafa Hulk. So, I mean, they were similar in quality pace, so we'll see how they roll out in here and see if Crooner can actually pull ahead.
Yeah, and Crooner got a really bad start off the line. Ended up losing a position in a turn 1. Has really recovered well in the last couple of laps. I believe he set the fastest lap in lap 2.
Yeah.
And I think at one time he was like 1.2 seconds down on Rafa Hulk. And already closed that gap to about half a second.
Yeah, really showing that he's got the pacer on this track, and it's not all about qualifying. So we also see Bambuki from last up into P11, so gained a couple positions as well. But yeah, we had Broomstick Handle did pits, and just sitting back there in 15th on the medium tire.
Crooner's going to have a chance here, possibly. Down into turn 1. Rafa Hulk has got his red light flashing on the back of his car, which suggests that he has used up a lot of his ERS already. Crooner not quite able to get alongside.
Yeah, as we see,
Rafa Hulk going into turn 1 was completely out of ERS, and so far Crooner's done a really good job of managing his.
STX has got through ahead of Capitan as well.
We saw fire up
7
flow.
positions.
Oh, and here's Wiener Drank as well on the inside. Ooh, looked like Wiener Drank was going to put it alongside Capitan, but Capitan came out ahead.
Ooh, some side by side, and then we can see the Yuppie just sneaking his nose right in there as well, as Wiener Drank get a bit of a bad exit, but into the S as we go. We also saw fire upflow ahead of Mako.
Got a really nice train all the way from P6 to P12. Everybody within 1 second.
Ooh, as we see Bambuki getting ahead of the Yuppie.
Yeah, so Bamboo into the points.
Yeah, starting P15, a couple of, up 6 positions.
Fire Upflow with the fastest lap of the race, 117.8, and look at how close this is between Crooner and Rafa Hulk. Crooner into the lead on lap 5 out of 36. Rafa Hulk still just not really managing his ERS very well at the moment, and that's ultimately cost him the lead.
And no DRS for Rafa Hulk as well. As we know, Mexico has got the single detection zone up from the main straight all the way to here as well. So no DRS, and like you said, he's got no ERS as well. I mean, Crooner's done a decent job as well, sitting at 50%, which is honestly, to be fair, it's pretty good around here. Especially that he was pushing the first couple laps trying to get past.
And Bambuki up to P8 now.
Up to P8 gets around the outside of Winter Drank. He's up 7 positions in 5 laps. I know, Chatty. We've seen this before, especially with drivers as quick as Bambuki, starting from the back of the pack. They can get caught up in some incidents. You know, maybe with some drivers that are a little bit slower, just not being used to those braking points. And so far, he's done a really good job to avoid that.
Yeah, and keeping it clean.
That's been one of his strongest points throughout this season. he's definitely a very measured driver, as we see STX go overtaking Mako for 5th place now on those medium tyres. But yeah, Bambuki, I've kind of compared him to an old French driver from real F1, Alain Prost, who won 4 World Championships. They called him the Professor. Who's that off? Is that the Yuppie?
It's the Yuppies around.
Spun, yeah. Out of turn 3.
Doesn't look like he has any damage though.
Nah, he loses a bunch of positions though, because he was up there in the points.
I'm guessing that was just...
again.
Oh, he's gone again.
Yeah.
So those tyres must be
rears.
overheating. Yeah.
Did a good job of staying out of the racing line of people, so...
Yeah, that was... And it was a yellow flag in the first 2 sectors, so you never know, there might have been a safety car there, but we carry on.
He's round again.
So
His
he's
tires
really
are just
struggling.
completely overheated. Just can't do anything at this point. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and it's I think we've all kind of fell victim to that at one point or another. Once they do get overheated, you almost have to just accept that you're going to have to take half a lap just to get them back to temperature.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At this point, would you box or would you stay out? I mean, being so close to the pits, I think boxing is probably the best choice. Your tires are already ruined anyways from the amount of spins he's had, so I don't know. Maybe
I'm really interested, Chatty. We've got the 2 AlphaTauris look like they've swapped positions, but behind them we've also got the 2 Mercedes. I wonder if any strategy is going to come into play. Maybe some undercuts and things like that.
Yeah, and we've also got Bambuki now on the back of Mako, one of those 2 Mercedes that you were talking about. These 2 have got a bit of history from the last race. The Yuppie, I think, has retired in the pits, so I think he's just had enough after all those spins that he had. But yeah, Bambuki now up to P6 from last on the grid. He's made up 9 places so far in 8 laps. That's pretty impressive going.
Which is exactly, and just as impressive, STX on the medium tire making up 8 positions off the start, which I find is incredible on the harder compound as well. So we'll see how his strategy honestly plays out, and possibly if he can challenge the leaders later in the race.
Got a really good battle going on between Winter Drink Capitan and Blend Machine. They were all pretty close together going into turn 1. Winter Drink was able to get by Capitan, but I've seen those 2 swap positions a couple of times in the last couple of laps.
We must be getting close to the sorry, Lucas. We must be getting close to the first pit stop window at this point. 8 laps into the race, and I don't know how those soft tyres are going to be feeling right about now, but it's got to be maybe the next couple of laps that we see people starting to come in.
Yeah,
they seem to be working pretty well for Bambuki right now. He's already put almost 2 seconds on Mako, who is well, he's actually on the soft tire as well, but he is closing the gap to STX, who is on the mediums.
Yeah, which we'll see be doing the longer stint. Oh, look at that! Talking about pit windows, we got Fire Up and MTR going for the medium tire. Medium tires, yeah, they box for the medium tires. We see Mako as well box for the medium. So are we going to see some undercuts? Possibly.
Looks like both the AlphaTauri and the Mercedes teams tried to get the undercut on each other. So we'll see how that works, since they were actually both going in at the same time.
Just saw Blim Machine looking down the inside of Capitan into turn 1 and got a bit stuck on the curb on the inside there, but luckily neither of the drivers got any damage or any contact. But Juan is right on the back of this battle as well, and Blin now might have made himself vulnerable to an attack from the Racing Point.
Yeah, he's definitely been creeping up the last few laps with this little group of cars with Winter Giant Capitan and Blend Machine all battling pretty hard. for that 5th position. So look to him to maybe make a move in the next couple of laps on Blinn.
Yeah, I mean, he had a bit of a slow exit out of the S's, but I mean, Blinn Machine has done a great job at managing his ERS so far, at 70% down the straight. So can he get ahead of Capitan, who doesn't have DRS on Wiener Drank? As he's burning his ERS now, he's got the DRS, the slipstream. I think this is just an easy one at this point.
Got our second round of pit stops. Also, Crooner comes in from the race lead. What he put on the medium compound. Also had the second AlphaTauri driver, and he is put on the mediums as well. So it looks like everybody's going for the 2-stop so far.
Yeah, so far, and we'll see what STX could do. Maybe he can pull off an overcut. We'll see what he can do on those medium tires. Stick it out, hope for a safety car or something in his pit window.
Yeah, and interesting to see so far, all of the soft tyre runners from the start, they've all gone for the mediums for this second stint. So I don't know if that means that they don't have any fresh sets of softs remaining, or if they just want to preserve them for, you know, the last stint of the race when the fuel is obviously a lot less, and that potentially gives them the best opportunity to have good pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really no better feeling than having some fresh softs with about 6 to 7 laps to go, and you can just completely send it for those last few laps.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just realizing we got about 25 laps to go left. So, I mean, they could be pitting for the double medium strategy where they just box twice for mediums, because, I mean, honestly, softs don't last long here.
Capitan goes for the hards. The only driver to opt for the hards so far.
Yeah, so he's going to opt for the 1-stop, and we'll see if he can actually, if he can put some pressure on the guys ahead.
He's going to come out right beside these, the McLaren and the Racing Point. Oh, the Racing Point makes a dive to the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? They go, oh boy.
Yeah, Capitan just squirming all over the track. Doesn't have the grip with the hards.
Does a really good job to stay side by side with Wanderbrew right there.
Where's Juan right there? Down the outside. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a couple laps for Capitan to get his tires warmed up a bit. I mean, that's what I was saying about the hards. They're not that good around here.
Bambuki pits. He's done 10 laps, much 11 laps now on those soft tyres, and he was keeping up with STX with absolutely no problem. So that's been a brilliant stint on those soft tyres for Bambuki, but now he is putting on a set of mediums for the second stint, and I'll tell you what, he's in a really good position here. He's going to come out behind the likes of Rockstar, Crooner. Well, Rockstar hasn't pit yet, but certainly Crooner and Rafa Hulk. But I think Bambuki, with fresher tyres as we go further into the race, and the pace that he's been showing up to now, he could be in a really strong position to get that podium, or maybe even the win, coming from last place on the grid. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
As you see Juan just go down the inside of Broomhandle, managing his ERS. Like I said, I think managing your ERS is so important around here, and he's at about 80%. Well, now about 70, but extremely, extremely important around here, because, I mean, it's so hard to get ERS around here. I don't know. It's just one of those tracks where, you know, you can't ever get it back unless you pit or it's a safety car.
Got Crooner coming up on the back of Rockstar. Rockstar hasn't pit yet. He started on the medium tire. He's going to want to get around him pretty quickly, as he's got Rafa Hulk right on his tail.
Yeah. Yeah, right down the inside before the DRS even came out.
Nice job. When do you guys think the medium runners will be needing to pit? So we've got STX, Rockstar. They're really the only two, aren't they?
Yeah, just them two. Yeah.
If I would guess, I would say maybe around like lap anywhere from 14 to 16. I think we could see them come in. STX has really set himself up really nicely to go soft at the end.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Rockstar looking like he's struggling a bit, losing 2 positions to Rafa Hall and Crooner, locking up into turn 4. So maybe we'll see a pit stop from him in the next lap or 2. But yeah, like you said, Dunk, I mean, managing those tires to lap 16 would really set you up to a good double stint on the softs, and go 10 laps on each would kind of balance it out really nicely, I think, and just kind of send it at that point.
So things have started to settle down a bit in this phase of the race. We've still got, as we said, STX and Rockstar on the old medium tyres. Everyone else is pretty much on fresh mediums or fresh hards. Broomhandle is currently in 12th place on 10 lap old medium tyres, but he had a wing change at the start of the race, so he's had a bit of a compromised 14 laps so far, and it's going to be difficult for him to get back up into the fold. But yeah, at the moment no one's really that close to anyone else at the moment. There's no gaps under a second. Rockstar somehow has DRS despite the fact that he's 1.5 seconds behind Rafa Holt, but it is what it is. We'll just roll with it.
This is kind of the point in the race where everybody starts to kind of pace themselves. They kind of get that first stint out of the way, where they, a lot of the times the guys just want to kind of go out first few laps and see how many positions they can make up. But we're kind of to the point now where everybody's starting to settle in and find a groove and just start to put in some good lap times.
Yeah, I feel like this is more the stage of the race where people are being more conservative with their ERS, managing it, and then kind of just overtaking people with strategy. So trying to go for an overcut or something, or an undercut. So we'll see some of that, as Crooner gained about 0.8 of a second on STX. So maybe a pit stop from them, as we do see Rockstar pit off those 14 lap old mediums.
Yeah, and just going to ride on board with Rockstar and see what he goes for here. I think those are the soft tyres that he's going for now, so he should have a pace advantage over pretty much everyone around him and in front of him. So that's going to be good for him. He can maybe have some fun and pull off some overtakes. He's just fallen behind Broomhandle on 12 lap old medium tyres, but he should have a big pace advantage at this stage of the race.
And we see Bambuki up into P6, 0.4 of a second behind Godney Weeb, and he is on 2 lap younger tires. So we'll see how that pays out for him, and if he can get by him down the straight and try to put some pressure on the next AlphaTauri up ahead.
Yeah, looking for XTX to come into box any lap now. His gap was up to 11 seconds, already down to 6.8.
Yeah, he's in now for his first pit stop, and he's gone for the softs as well. So if he's got 2 sets of fresh softs to use from here to the end of the race, wow, he's in a great position.
Yeah, ideally he'd want to get ahead of his teammate. It's gonna be close. But no, his teammate does get ahead of him, so yeah, I mean, maybe he's going to let his teammate by, but we'll see how that plays out. We'll see Bambuki get ahead of Godney Weeb down the straight as well.
Yeah, and up into P4. Surely Mako will let STX through, and he does. So STX into 6th place, and now he's got a 5.5 second gap to Godney Weeb in the AlphaTauri.
And what a drive from Bambuki already. Not even halfway through the race, and he's already up in a P4, only about 7 to 8 seconds off of the lead. So he's definitely got time to make that up.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a great drive from him so far.
Yeah, and I was saying earlier about Bambuki, about what a season he had. He is also the defending champion in this tier. He won it in season 10, actually won it in right here at this track in the season finale of season 10, and that was a really exciting conclusion to that championship. It's not been quite the same this time around. He's kind of dominated, as we said. But you can just see why with a drive like this and the way that he's just fought his way up through the field and now closing in on the podium positions for the first time.
STX really starting to cut into that gap on those fresh softs to Gottny Weeb.
Yeah, I was
so
about
I'm
to
going to
say.
say it might be a couple of laps before we see a battle for P5.
Yeah, gained about 3 seconds in the last lap. And I'm going to say striking distance in about a lap and a half, possibly. So by lap 19 down the straight, he should be able to get close enough within DRS. Because he's just, every single part of the track, he's gaining time on him.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even need the what is it? The AWS. You know when they do like the overtake predictions.
I love those.
We've got Lucas here. We don't need that.
Yeah, those things are great. I love seeing those.
Lucas is a whole lot more accurate. Let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
Clearly.
Got Rockstar coming up on Juan and Abreu. He's going to make a move. He gets it done pretty easily with the help of DRS. So he's starting to make up some positions.
Yeah, we saw Bambuki get ahead of Gottny Weeb, but I mean, Gottny Weeb was kind of just sticking right behind him, sticking within the second, getting that DRS. So it doesn't look like there's an extreme amount of pace that Bambuki has maybe on the stint, but STX is going to be putting Gottny Weeb under pressure now, especially now that he's out of DRS of Bambuki.
And like I said, Lucas is much more accurate than AWS. Is we're about to enter the first long DRS section.
Oh, that's right. 19, lap 19 down the straight.
That's right.
Wow. Lucas, I might get some lottery numbers off you, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing. But yeah, there he goes. STX up into 5th and immediately trying to break the toe from the AlphaTauri behind him. And now he's got Bambuki next up, and he's got DRS on the second straight because it's just the one detection zone for those 2 DRS straights. So that will help him out. And obviously the grip on the fresh softs.
Honestly, I don't even like the idea of that one detection zone. I personally think there should be a second one after the straight. Because, you know, there's people that overtake down the straight into the braking zone. And I mean, I would have put that detection zone right, like, into the braking zone of turn 1 or turn 2, you know. But, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage if you can stay pretty close to the car in front, entering that first DRS zone. Because you easily get the pass made into turn 1, and then you have a whole nother DRS section that you get also. So
yeah, exactly. And are we going to see a move from STX on Bambuki? 4 tenths behind. Bambuki has no DRS. You've got a lot of DRS to use. So we'll see into turn 1 as you go side by side down the inside. Cuts to the racing line.
Not far from Fire Up Flow either, only 8 tenths away from him now, so he's making moves in a hurry.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, his mega stint on the mediums has paid off really well. He's already up into P4, looking for that podium position. So we'll see how it rolls out now, because I think this is the most optimal time for him to overtake, because that last stint, I think everyone's going to be on the softs. So we'll see how it rolls out there. But, I mean, just trying to get up the field right now.
Yeah, and we just saw Rockstar was trying to make a move on Blin to get up into 9th position, but Blin defended it well on the outside of turn 1 on older mediums as well, so that was impressive driving from him. But we see in the stadium section now STX half a second behind Fire Up Flow. He's going to have the DRS on those first 2 straights, as we said, with the 1 detection zone, and he's probably going to put himself onto the podium on lap
got a bit
21.
Of a wide exit. They got about the same amount of ERS, and maybe this is why there's only one detection zone, you know? Gets a bit of a poor exit, gets close enough for the second straight to have a go, but...
Well, here he
Fire
goes.
Upflow coping well.
Yeah, and Fire Upflow's got a bit of ERS, so he can still defend for the time being. And he might be hoping that he can keep SGX behind him for long enough that then SGX is going to start losing grip on those soft tyres, because obviously they do wear out quite a bit quicker than the mediums do.
I think we're going to see a move from Rockstar here. To the inside, he blocks up. Oh, Blend's doing a great job of defending him on those medium tires.
Yeah, and such a tricky part of the track to overtake, and we do see STX and Fire Upflow switching positions into the stadium sector, going side by side into the hairpin. Just can't get him through. Fire Upflow doing a great job of defending. I don't know, it was 11 lap old tires, but down the DRS straight before the DRS even comes out, STX is, I think, is going to get the move done. They're going side by side down the straight, but with the DRS, it's not much you can do about that.
Look out for Bambuki here. He's going to have some double... and he's not going to be close enough to make a move. I think he's just kind of sitting watching these guys go at it.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say he could have a go at a turn 3, but he had a poor exit. He's got a lot of ERS to use, probably double of the amount upon Fire Upflow and STX, but just kind of stick behind him and... Yeah.
See, Godney Weave has come in and put the mediums on, so he must have used all of his softs in quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Or just kind of thinks the mediums are going to do it, you know? I mean, some drivers you'll see, as we see Godney Weave, we saw CC a second yellow flag.
Around. That's
and Godney Weave has got ahead of Juan Debrew for 10th place, yellow flag in the third sector. I think that's T4 in the Racing Point. Rockstar has also got ahead of Blin finally and pulled out a bit of a gap, so he can now focus his attention on his teammate Wienerdrank in 7th place. Mako has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Not quite sure how you manage that on regular corner cutting, but there you go. And now Bambuki having another look at Fire Upflow down into turn 1.
Yeah, and you were mentioning kind of hard to do it on the regular corner cutting is the first penalty of the race, so could play a huge factor being 3 seconds and there's guys behind him, so we'll see how that affects him in the later of the race, but the guys in the soft speed should be pitted in the next couple laps.
Just want to say here, look how close it's getting between the top 5.
Yeah.
They're all converging on each other at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. Like, you know, everyone was so close at the beginning, kind of spread out a bit after the pit stops, and now everyone just kind of paced themselves all towards each other. You see a yellow sector 1, which I think is Tafur as well again.
I'm really interested to see how this is going to work out for Godney Weeb. He's going to get a little bit of an undercut, but he is going to be on the slower tire. So he's pretty much ran inside the top 5 all day. I'm kind of anxious to see how it turns out for him.
Yeah, as you see, Bambuki passed Fire Upflow for Q4. So
Nip Steven as well, looking at Rafa. Rafa Holt, once again, he's got absolutely no ERS. Well, I think he's managed to harvest a little bit from the braking zone of turn 1, but here comes SGX on the inside, down to turn 4, and that is, well, there's a bit of a lock-up, but a fairly straightforward move for the Mercedes driver, who's put himself up into 2nd place.
Yeah, it was clever of STX, kind of went to the inside, but kind of pushed Rafa Hulk a bit wide so he can get the racing line, kind of forces him off a bit, which is smart. And I mean, we'll see a pit stop for sure from Rafa Hulk within this or next lap, just because, I mean, he was squirming out of the exit of turn 4, or turn 3, sorry, so we'll see.
And it really is getting closer and closer at the front, because behind Crooner, STX 1.6, and then Rafa Hulk, Bambuki and Fire Upflow all within a second of each other. So there's going to be some DRS to come as they go down the pit straight for the start of lap 25. And Bambuki is going to have a look up the inside of Rafa Hulk down into turn 1. And a little bit of contact there, I think.
Yeah.
But that's Bambuki into a podium for the place.
Wiener Drink picks up a 5-second penalty speeding in the pits. That's killer for him.
Yeah, that's going to be... Yeah,
Imagine this is going to be the softs. Yep.
It is, yeah, you're right. And like you guys were saying, honestly, I mean, personally, I honestly thought that Crooner was going to get a bit of more of a gap, especially with STX kind of battling with some other guys. Plus, I honestly thought he would have gained a bit more ERS. Like right now, he's only sitting at 40%. Same with STX is only at 30, and he's caught about a second this lap, so we'll see.
And now Fire Upflow is going to have a look down the inside of Rafa Hulk into the stadium section. Tafour retires in the pit lane, but that's Fire Upflow into 4th place. And Gortney Weave as well, who did make that early pit stop for the medium tyres, but he's been flying since then. He's up to 7th place, just overtaken Blin a lap or 2 ago. And now Bambuki in the pits.
Yeah, STX burn his DRS, got the DRS, picks up the slipstream. Will he go for an up move into turn 1? Ooh, brakes nice and late. Ooh, got a bit close there. Gotta go for a wide exit. He's got 6 lap younger softs, but the softs and mediums are probably the same speed at this point of the race. Just to the inside of turn 4. You make the move stick. He does. This is crucial for the race because these guys are both going to be on the soft tire at the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. So there's no advantage for Crooner to not put up a fight for that position. So SGX takes the lead of this race on lap 26, and he's had a very similar race to what he had in the USA, as I mentioned before, starting on the alternate strategy and just making it work for him really well. On that occasion, these two had a bit of contact and Crooner had a bit of a spin as well, and now they both come into the pits at the same time.
Yeah, watch out for Bambuki here. He's put in a banging lap, and he might get the undercut on all of these guys, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. I personally thought Crooner would have boxed the lap earlier because those mediums were 17 laps old. I thought he would have boxed, but see, as they're coming out of the pit lane right now, I think you're right. Bambuki's going to get an overcut on an undercut on every single person there.
Oh,
there he
takes the
goes.
lead of the Mexican Grand Prix with 9 laps to go.
Wow, what an inspired move that was from Bambuki to undercut everyone while they were all battling, and we were saying that STX had taken the lead of the race.
Yeah, we completely missed it.
Yep.
Well, Dunk was tracking it. Dunk was tracking it for us.
Yeah, I mean, when he come out of the pits, the gap was around like 20 seconds, 21 seconds. But by the time the guys pitted in front, I mean, it was down to like 15 seconds. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it just shows how important pit stops and strategies are here. And like mentioned earlier, I think this other half of the race was just going to be based on strategy. So we'll see if STX can catch up. He's gained about a couple tenths this lap. He's on the one lap younger softs, which isn't much of a difference. But we'll see down the pit straight with the DRS. They got about similar ERS, Bambuki a bit more by 10%, but we'll see if there's anything that happens down the straight.
STX really closed the gap there.
Yeah, Bambuki set the fastest lap, 1:16.1, on his first flying lap out of the pits. But here comes STX down into turn 1, side by side between these two. And Bambuki holds it for now, but STX will have another go. I think the AlphaTauri boys have also switched places again. Here he comes.
Got him.
Great exit from STX, and does exactly what it did to the other guy, or to, I think it was Crooner, if I'm not mistaken, or Fire Upflow, just pushed them off the racing line a bit, squeezed them, and it was a great move by STX.
Wow, great stuff.
What a race from STX. I mean,
Yeah.
starting from the back along with Bambuki, maybe a position in front. And these guys have just made a charge to the front.
Ooh, what an exit. Bambuki had a great exit out of that. Yeses.
Thought about making the move, but probably wise to back out of it at that point and try to get the DRS on this straight coming up. He's got loads of ERS, about over 60%, and STX has been preserving it reasonably well, but he's only down in the 30s.
Yeah, a bit more vulnerable now, especially with the DRS. And Buki being smart, he's actually smart. He's playing it smart. He's not using any ERS whatsoever, forcing STX to use his ERS, but he didn't use any. So I mean, they're both great drivers for managing their ERS properly and knowing how they each race.
I feel like when we look back at this race, Rafa Hulk's going to be really disappointed in that second stint. That really cost him a lot of positions. I mean, he was up there battling for the lead most of the race. Now he's back in P5, about 8 seconds off of the lead.
Yeah, he had that bad phase, didn't he, where he lost out to, I think he lost out to STX and then he lost out to Bambuki about a lap or two later, so he fell down a few places there, which was quite important. Broomhandle's just set the fastest lap. He's in 13th place at the moment, but he just went into the 1 minute 15s on fresh soft tyres, so good lap
Almost
from
like
him.
a quality lap he put in.
Yeah.
15, that's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely quicker than some of the laps that we did see, but Bambuki is not really close enough at the moment to do anything about STX, but I do wonder if he's just managing that ERS, as you said, Lucas, to go for an attack maybe in the last few laps.
Yeah, and I mean, what he's doing right now is pretty much what I do in my races. I mean, there's a guy in front of me a couple tenths and I'm in the DRS, I make sure to force them to use all their ERS, and I think that's probably the best move, honestly, because then they're going to be vulnerable in the last couple laps.
We've got some good side-by-side action going on between Mako and Wienerdrank in the first sector, but I think Mako has just about forced his way in front into 7th place. These are the only two drivers on the grid with penalties in this race. Mako with a 3-second penalty for corner cutting, and Wienerdrank, we think, got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, some of the more respectful driving I've seen out of any league races so far this season. They really did a good job to take care of each other through a tricky sector to go side by side in.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Dunk, respectful driving. I mean, honestly, I haven't seen any major incident or any incident at all in this race, to be honest with you, which is it's always good to see. You know, you like seeing clean racing. As you see, Wienerdrank in the DRS down the straight on Mako.
Yeah, so these two carrying on their battle from the previous lap. Wienerdrank quite low on ERS now. I don't know that he's going to be able to come back at Mako into turn 4. And he can't, so Mako still in 7th place, although there's contact! Oh, and we've just been saying how clean it's been the whole race. Looked for a moment like Mako was going to go spinning round, but fortunately he was able to hold it and keep going.
Yeah. We also see Capitan on the hard tires, 19 laps old, which, I mean, we presumed weren't going to be the greatest tire anyways to use, and in the end of it, it didn't look like it paid off because he was running a bit higher up in the top 10.
Yeah, he was in that large battle for P5 there in that first stint of the race.
Yeah, that massive battle right there, and then the hards just aren't working out, you know, no grip. I mean, as we see I just noticed as well, STX is on 30% ERS while Bambuki's on about 80.
Oh, he's
So
just
that
setting
could
him
be
up, it looks
huge.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be huge in the next couple laps, you know? A massive blast down the straight.
So when do you think Bambuki's going to go for it? Because he's obviously just waiting for the right moment to make his move. But do you think he's going to leave it all the way to the last lap, or maybe go for it a bit sooner?
I think he's gonna start ramping his pressure up. If not the next lap, then lap 34 for sure. Start trying to get STX as low as he can on that ERS meter, and then make his move with probably either lap anywhere from 34 to 35. I don't think he'll wait till the last lap.
Oh yeah, he's 80% ERS down the straight. He's got a great chance, literally anywhere he goes. But what I think he's going to do is try and set himself up for a good exit out of the last turn and go for it there. Because, I mean, STX is only on 29, 30%, while he's on 90, so triple what he's at. And yeah, like you said, Dunk, lap 34, down the start-finish straight, I think that's where it's going to be. 34 at 35 is where I'm saying my striking distance.
Well, he's got enough to use overtake all the way down the front stretch, and possibly even out of turn 3 he could use it all the way down there as well if he needs to.
Yeah, he's got to be careful though. STX is starting to save up a little as well. As I say that he uses some. He was up to about 35%. But yeah, don't be surprised to see a move from Bambuki maybe either in this straight or same place the next lap.
If you got any weave going side by side with MTR Hulk, dives down the inside out of the S's, forces him a bit wide, makes the move stick. But as you guys were saying, we'll see down the straight. Like I kind of presumed, lap 35 down the straight is, I think, where it's going to happen, because STX is in 10% ERS, which is where Bambuki literally wants him. He wants to see that red light flashing.
Mako and Wienerdrank are still going at it as well for 7th and 8th, and Rafa comes back at Gotney Weave for 5th position as well. So we've got a few little battles developing here. Rockstar is also catching up to the back of his teammate and Mako, who are going to go side by side into turn 1. Wienerdrank on the inside, and he's got it back ahead of Mako into P7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that battle's kind of hurt both of those guys. They had a big enough gap to the car behind to where they wouldn't lose any positions, but now they've got Rockstar inside of that gap pretty easily, right on the back of both of those guys.
Yeah.
He's retired in the pits. Yeah.
That could have got interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say VS here or a yellow flag.
Here we go.
Is pulling back.
He's using it all right here.
Oh my goodness, he's gonna have him into turn 1.
He's used about 50%. He's gonna go right down the straight at 340 kilometers.
Oh, there was a big contact there.
Oh,
and then some front wing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be the front wing of STX. I'm afraid he's gonna be missing a bit, as he's gonna miss out on ERS.
It's a McLaren in the first sector.
I think that's Broomhandle's car.
Rockstar's in the wall. Rockstar's in the wall.
Oh.
Out of the last corner.
Wow.
Into the pit, in the wall.
Oh, what's happened?
He's lost a bit of front wing too.
Yeah, I think that's his race done and dusted.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's getting into the pits now. Finally.
Gotney Weeb and Rafa Hulk just have been going at it the last 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, that's maybe why he pitted on the medium tire. He'd be strong at the end, you know, because the guys on the softs clearly struggling at this point, 7 laps old. So maybe we'll see a move down the front straight. They both have no ERS, so we'll see if they can pull something off.
Bambuki has just bolted away from Nip Stevens from STX, sorry, He used to be called Nip Steven, that's why I say that. But yeah, he's out to over a second, and now Crooner could even get in on the action to take P2. And because
wow.
SCX has the damage as well, doesn't he? That's why he's slowed down.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
he's gonna have a look.
yeah, I was gonna say it could be a bit of well, this is the last lap of the race, so it could have been a bit of team play, you know, for Bambuki kind of to slow him up. But yeah, like you're saying, the wing damage forcing him to brake earlier than normal.
I think we're going to see an interesting move here between Crooner. There's not really any good passing opportunities. Maybe this last DRS straight.
Yeah, he's got to go for it.
Pretty close.
Well, SCX is going to have so much understeer with the wing damage through here, and now
so much understeer.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes.
Which way is he going? Big contact!
My goodness!
Massive crash! Massive crash!
And where is STX? There he is.
And he's spinning around again, trying to get around.
He's going to lose that, but up at the front,
man.
Bambuki wins the season finale, the Mexican Grand Prix from his teammate Crooner. The Renault boys get a 1-2 in quite controversial circumstances there at the end, with Nips, SCX and Crooner crashing in that final sector, and Fire Up Flow picking up the final podium spot of the race.
Wow, that's gonna be and he's just left it. Yeah, he's just left it.
He is not happy. Not sure what happened there, Chatty. I couldn't tell. I mean, it's hard to say just because we don't really know exactly what happened, but it looked like he broke a little early there. I'm sure with the little bit of wing damage that he had, he probably had to brake a little earlier than he would have liked to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked a bit to me as if SCX was going to defend the inside and then possibly move back to the racing line.
Yeah, exactly.
And just call Crooner unawares. I don't think Crooner's the type of guy to do anything dirty to take him out, but yeah, controversy at the end of the race, at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
What a race from Bambuki, though. I mean, coming from the back to the front, never really had any issues. Played the strategy perfectly. Undercut, what was it, like 5 drivers in one time?
Yeah,
that was.
And ultimately, just saved his ERS at the end of it to get past STX.
Yeah, that was. I think that undercut he pulled was probably the moment that ultimately won him the race to get himself up into that battle for the lead. Hey, can I get one of you guys to invite those top 3 guys into the party so that we can have a chat with them? Get the lowdown on what was going on there, especially with Crooner after that that last lap incident.
Are you getting it, Lucas, or do you want me to?
I don't even know how to get it. I'm not friends with any of them.
Okay. I can. You'll just have to search.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get Fire Up Flow then. You try getting MVP.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll get Crooner in a sec. I should have got the full results and I forgot to. Sorry Jones. That's gonna annoy you. My bad. I think most of them were there. I think we saw the top 14 and we had 15 drivers, I think, so only one of them missing. So I'm gonna just go to Bloons. Podium drivers in here so that we can have a chat with them. And especially find out what was going on there at the end on that last lap. There we go. Yep. Okay, so we've Fire Up Flows here, and we'll just give the 2 Renault boys a quick moment to join us here, and then we can ask them some questions about about the race and about their season and about next season coming up, because this is the season finale of season 11 in the silver class here in Trinity Competitive Racing. The next season will be on the new game F1 2021. And I just want to take a quick moment as well to just acknowledge our affiliate sponsor here at TCR, Fanatec. You can use the link down in the description below to visit the Fanatec website and get some great gear from those guys, all of the sim racing gear you could need. And if you use the link, you can contribute towards the league. Be sure to do that. And just as well to quickly mention that tomorrow night you can come back to the channel and watch the Golden Class drivers complete their season in the Mexican Grand Prix at 8:15 Eastern Time once again. And then on Thursday night it'll be the turn of the Platinum Class drivers, once again 8:15 Eastern Time for that. So I do believe that we have our podium drivers here, and I'm going to start off with not just the winner of the race, not just the season 11 champion, but the two-time TCR Silver Class champion, Bambuki, winner once again in this class. Congratulations. Fantastic drive coming from last to first. Some great moments for you in that race. Talk us through it. How did it go?
Yeah, thank you. Funny race for me today. I have some great battle with everyone. Nice overtake. So, funny one for me. Nice one. I am happy to finish like that my silver class. So I think so it's the best way for finish for my last one in silver. Good one. Good for Renault 2, P1, P2. Nice.
Yeah, and of course that just puts the icing on the cake for the constructors as well as the drivers. So yeah, great job from you guys. Dunk or Lucas, have you got any questions for Bambuki after the race?
Yeah, just I think that may be the most cars that I've ever seen undercut at one time. So just kind of want to get your thoughts on your pit strategy and how you saw that playing out versus how it ultimately got you into a good position there at the end.
Yeah, this track, I know on this track, it's a tough one for the tires, so when you stop one lap before everyone, you can take easily 2 seconds in one lap, so I am okay. I wanna undercut everyone, and maybe I wanna take some position, and it worked perfectly for me. So good.
Yeah, that was a bit of a masterclass there, and then the overtake on STX as well, and we saw that he got a bit of wing damage from that. How did you see that?
Honestly, for me, it's just a racing accident. I keep my lane. I am already in the front of him before the braking point. We got a small touch, but nothing bad. So for me, it's just racing. It's I have a great battle with him today. So
yeah,
it's just a racing.
Yeah. And a bit of a shame to not see him on the podium after all that, but well, first off he had the incident with you, and then of course what happened with Kruna. So yeah, thanks very much Bambuki, and congratulations once again on
Thank you
on the win today. So let's go to Kruna, your teammate in the Renault. Another good race for you, another podium, and it looked like it was going to be P3, and then on the last lap it was P2, but maybe not quite the way you'd want to get it. But just what happened there with STX at the end, Kruna?
Hey guys, so I don't know what exactly happened, but I was on the outside of the outside of the corner, sorry, and Steven just changed his line at the last moment, and I can't do anything to avoid this crash. So I'm a little bit disappointed because I really wanted to do this P2 on the track without accident, but that's race, and that's kind of thing could happen.
Yeah, Jonathan or Lucas, you have anything for Karina?
Yeah, I mean, what were you thinking about in that second stint? I know you went to the mediums just like kind of everyone else, but were you ever thinking about going on the soft medium, or just sticking to the soft medium soft?
Honestly, my strategy of this race was just to follow the other driver, especially Steven, because we are fighting for the P2 on the driver championship. So I didn't have a strategy before the race. I just need to follow other drivers on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a good point you mentioned there about P2, because that has secured for you that result, second place in the championship. So, I mean, really, for Renault, it couldn't have gone any better, could it? You know, first and second in the drivers, first in the constructors.
I'm sorry, but I think if Steven got his P2 and me P3, I think I have the P2 on the driver championship too, because he has 5 points or 4 points less than me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think ultimately over the season you've deserved that. Especially, you know, I feel like Russia was a really big turning point for you in the season, where you would, since then you've been consistently up at the front, getting great results, and obviously the victory as well a race or two ago. So yeah, brilliant. Congratulations, Karina, on this season.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
And last but not least, we have our third place driver, Fire Up Flow, in the AlphaTauri. Congratulations. You probably weren't expecting to be here on when lap 36 started, but then the problems up ahead. But how did you find the race?
I had a lot of fun. A lot of battles, overtakes. But I honestly, going into that last lap, I gave it a 50-50 that I was going to get a podium, knowing the three guys up there and how close y'all were, and knowing Steven, sometimes I was the least a bit surprised to see a caution in front of me into the third sector. So yeah, I was a little lucky, but I just knew, like, you know, at the end, I was just on my own for like the last 8 laps, so I just tried to keep it on the track and had fun in the first half of the race. That's for sure. Yeah, it was a great season though.
Yeah, Jonathan or Lucas, anything?
Yeah, seemed like you were right around your teammate for pretty much most of the race. But he ended up opting for the mediums while you went for the softs there at the end. Is that just something that he had to make an extra run in quali, or what was the decision making there?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet. We don't. We're really good friends, but we don't have mics on for each other during the race. So I didn't know what had happened. But yeah, it's always fun being around my teammate, because he's my buddy, and we were tied going into points in this. So it was fun to be next to each other. But yeah, it was a good season for us both. We both did better than last season, so it was good.
Yeah, and I think P2 in the constructors for AlphaTauri, was that correct?
Yep. Definitely couldn't get close to these guys, but we did. I think there was only 2 races where one of us lost points. I only didn't get points in one race. So although I think I've gotten just 3 third places, we've both kept it really consistent the whole season. So that was nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your season. And once again, just to all 3 of you, just want to say, from me personally, having commentated on pretty much the whole season in Silver Class. It's been really fun to watch you guys going at it every week this season. Thank you so much for the work that you guys have put into the racing, and for certainly keeping me entertained every week, and hopefully look forward to seeing you guys out on the track in season 12 very soon.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for all what you did, man.
Cheers, crew.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so that's it. That's it for season 11 in Silver Class. As I said before, what a great season it's been. Bambuki, of course, winning the championship for the second straight season. I think he's going to be moving up to Platinum Class next time, which is going to be great to see. But yeah, that's all to come, and we very much look forward to that. Just want to say thank you very much to everyone who's watched the stream tonight. Hope you guys have all enjoyed it. Please do feel free to leave a like if you've enjoyed the racing today, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. You can come back and join us tomorrow night for Golden Class action, starting at 8:15 Eastern Time, once again coming from the Circuit Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico. And then on Thursday, it'll be the season finale for the Platinum Class as well. So once again, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time for that. All that remains for me to say really is thank you, and thank you to all the drivers, all the TCR officials, all the commentators that we've had this season, obviously 007 Professional, Perry, who joined us a couple of times as well, and of course to Jonathan Dunk and Lucas, who joined me tonight. So yeah, if you guys want to say a final piece.
Yeah, just thanks for bringing us on tonight, Chatty. Had a really good time, and got to witness a lot of good racing. I think the season came to a really nice close with that race. A lot of good battles throughout the whole session, and all the way down to the end. You really didn't know what was going to happen, so that's all you can ask for in a good race, I think.
Yeah, same for me as well. What Dunk said. I mean, great ending to the season. I mean, really right to the last lap, you didn't know what was going to go on. So I mean, just good racing, you know. And like I said, surprise podiums. So good racing for everyone. So
Yeah, definitely, and good to have the three of us together in the booth tonight. It's something that we've tried a couple of times before, having three guys commentating together instead of two, and I think it worked really well today. So yeah, thanks once again to you two, and yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy the off season, enjoy the winter break. It's not really winter, but you can just imagine that it is. And yeah, until season 12, everybody take care, stay safe, and have a great winter/summer. Have a great summer. Cheers.